All right. All right, let's do this. This is going to be fun. Boy, I love both of these shoes. This is kind of a head-to-head with the Clutchfit Drive, the Under Armour Clutchfit Drive, and the Under Armour Curry 1. This shoe was like kind of came out last season, and this is what Curry was wearing previous to his signature shoe releasing. This is still being worn, I think, by guys like Grievous Vasquez and what are the names? Brandon Jennings, Kemba Walker. I think Jennings and Walker are both injured right now, but yeah, those guys and Bazemore, they're wearing this shoe. And then obviously Curry is wearing his signature that came out in February. So I just wanted to do like a kind of a a visual comparison, and then maybe talk about some of the similarities and differences in terms of performance for those people wondering out there who either have one or the other or neither, right? So we'll get into that later. Just starting from the bottom, right? They have the kind of almost identical outsole patterns. You have that full-length herringbone. I do wish that the Curry one had modified the pattern slightly, just making those ridges sharper. This is kind of like flat herringbone, and what I mean is, if you had like regular sharp herringbone, and if you had that shoe and you wore it for like a month or two, and it would kind of look like this afterwards, where it just started to wear on the bottoms and it got flattened out a little bit. So once it's clean, it does do a good job of gripping the ground. The traction is great, but they do pick up dust very quickly. Both of these shoes do. They pick up dust very quickly, and I have to wipe them frequently. So that's kind of one downside to the shoe. But I have to wipe all of my shoes where I play, so that's not really a special thing for these. Obviously, this shoe has that kind of curvy vertical groove, right? And then the Curry one has those straight lines, that straight line pattern there. But the outsoles, other than that, are almost identical, and again, once clean, they provide really, really good traction. And then moving up to the midsole area, okay, both of these have that full-length micro G. The Curry one has that layer of charged cushioning running across the length there, and that's supposed to feel slightly different when you're just walking around or not really being active. I couldn't feel it too much, but they both have that micro G full length, so that's pretty nice. The heel counters, the Curry one has that kind of solid heel, plastic heel counter there, and the Clutchfit Drive is also relatively solid, but it's more flexible to me than the Curry one's heel cup there. So that's the heel counter there for you. And then you have the uppers. Both of them are one-piece uppers. The Clutchfit on the left, and then the Anafoam on the right. The Clutchfit is a great name for it because what it does is it really clutches your foot, in my opinion, and they both do a good job of working with you and containing your foot and supporting you and providing just a really nice fit throughout. Really just an excellent fit in both shoes. They both have that one piece, like I was saying, and they meet on the medial side. You can see the stitching for the Curry one on this side right there, and the Clutchfit upper meets right there. So you can see that where they meet there. And if you have one-piece uppers, the color blocking options are a little bit more limited. For the Clutchfit, you have a lot of these gradient colorways, which I really, really like. And, Kemba Walker had a couple of gradient colorways. Even the general releases did as well. And then they have some solid upper colorways as well for the Clutchfit. And then the Currys, a lot of them have this camouflage pattern, like the Dark Matters here, and as well as the Aways and the Candy Rains. And then they also have like whole solid color options like the home colorways that came out, those blue ones. So that's a little bit about the uppers there. You'll see that the Under Armour logo on the Clutchfit is on both sides. It's symmetrical. And then the Under Armour logo is only on the distal side there of the Curry one. They don't have it on the inside, if that matters to you guys. And they both have this similar cut at the heel, right, kind of low, which I really, really like. This is like kind of giving you the fit of a low combined with the mid, right? It gives you a lot of range of motion here in this area, and then they both taper up as they move forward to the mid height there. Another thing to note is that the Curry one has 7 total eyelets, so you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whereas the Clutchfit goes to 8. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I never lace this one anyways, so it doesn't matter to me. But you can see that it is slightly higher on the Clutchfit Drive than the Curry one because of that extra eyelet there, if that matters to you. So that's another difference between the shoes there. and also the perforations in the toe box for the Curry one, as well as on the medial side. So ventilation is probably slightly better on the Curry one than on the Clutchfit. A lot of people complain about the ventilation or lack of ventilation on the Clutchfit Drive, but I personally never had any problems with that part. So that kind of covers the visual aspect, the differences between the shoes. So let's go ahead and talk about the performance, right? Kind of the good stuff here. Which one's the better shoe? I think that's like the immediate question, is which one's better. That's kind of a toss-up, honestly. I can give you my personal opinion, my preference. That would be the Clutchfit Drive. I think the Micro G, the cushioning is slightly more substantial in the Clutchfit Drive. I think it just does a better job of providing impact protection, especially over those long sessions, game after game after game and playing for hours. I just think it provides a little bit better impact protection in that long run. But again, it's a toss-up. So, another example is if, let's say I have this ready to go in my gym bag and I'm ready to go play, and, for whatever reason, something happens to it, like the laces rip or the shoe gets wet or something like that, and I have to play in the Curry one that day, I wouldn't be, sad about that at all. Like it wouldn't bother me one bit, knowing that I have to play in this shoe. They're really that close to me. They play very, very similarly. Again, they both do a great job of containing your foot and providing that support. And one of the best parts of the shoe to me is just the transition, just going from defense to getting out and running on offense and cutting and driving in the lane and things like that. It's just one of the best parts to me. These are just both of these shoes, I should say, are shoes where, you just don't worry about them. Like you put them on, you lace them up, and you just forget that they're there to me. There's no chafing. I never look down and say, oh, these are, they're irritating me, or it's digging into my shoe, my foot, or it's hurting me, or it's too tight, or it's too loose, or the traction isn't good. There's no problems, right? There's nothing wrong with them. And it's just true for, again, game after game after game. Like I don't worry about them. And to me, that's a sign of a really good basketball shoe, is when you can just throw it on and not worry about it. So instead I could worry about, setting screens and boxing out and cutting and rebounding and things like that. So that's kind of a good sign to me, is when you don't have to think about the shoe while you're playing. So I would say is, let's say you don't have either shoe, or if you don't have any Under Armour basketball shoe, if you don't have any, I would highly recommend that you get one of these, or the Spawn, the Spawn Low, Clutchfit Drive, or the Curry one. They're really worth playing in, to me, in my experience. And you can see, Stephen Curry, obviously, and a lot of the pros are playing in them. So, people I think are kind of not quite with Under Armour. They're not at the level of like Nike or Adidas, which makes sense because they started later. But people are asking like, oh, how are the shoes? Are they good? And I think people are still, a little too caught up in the Nike, Adidas train of thought there, and they're not really willing to branch out as much. That's slowly changing, but again, I would highly recommend that you give these shoes a chance, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. I haven't heard anything negative about either shoe so far, right? So that kind of tells you a little bit about the performance there. If you do have the Clutchfit Drive and you're wondering if it's worth it to get the Curry one, again, it really depends on your situation. Like if you're the kind of person who likes, having a lot of shoes in your rotation, and you wanted a shoe that's similar to this but not the same shoe, then it's definitely a good alternative to get the Curry one. They play very, very similarly. And if you were happy with the Clutchfit Drive and you don't want to get any other shoe, then I don't think you're really missing out. If you don't get the Curry one, if you do have this shoe already. This is just one of my favorite shoes, really, of all time. And I have a bunch of, pairs saved up and lows as well, just to have for later, because I know eventually down the road I'm going to want, more pairs. So I'm just kind of stocking up on them right now. So really, in my entire, pickup league basketball career, right? They are top three to me. They are top three with the Nike Zoom BB Low and the Adidas Supernatural Creator. Those three shoes to me are my personal favorites to play in of all time. Just my personal picks there. So I wish I had those other two. I don't have those two anymore. I wish I did. But yeah, this is really one of the best shoes, in my opinion, in recent memory, especially for the price point, like I said before. So hopefully that gave you guys an idea of the performance of both shoes. And, if you need one or the other or both, again, I would really recommend trying at least one of them if you haven't yet. You guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much for your time, and thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.